Hey everybody, it's Quicken and welcome back to Tattoo Talk Tuesday. So if this is your first time joining us on Tattoo Talk Tuesday is our weekly interactive talk show where I take users submitted questions and try to lend my experience to you guys as a tattoo collector. Just quick catch up. If you missed Tattoo Talk Tuesday last week, there was a little editing error, little computer error. So Tattoo Talk Tuesday didn't come out until Tattoo Talk Wednesday. So definitely go check that out if you'd like. I did some interviews and we went to Electric Temple to talk to them about Friday the 13th tattooing. Check that out if you want. I think it was kind of cool, a little out of the box there. So this week we are going to kind of jump into a more discussion-based episode, and today we're going to be talking all about sexualizing tattoos and kind of the effects of dating while being heavily or tattooed in general. I get a couple questions about this at least once a week, and it's something I've always wanted to talk about, but I'm only limited to my experience. You know, I think it would have been a really cool subject to get someone else on the channel with me to have a back and forth about it for sure. And you know, if that's something you would want to see in the future, I think the topic can definitely be revisited. But today we're just going to be talking about my experience being a tattooed woman, because that's my experience, in the dating pool. And you know, it's been a little while since I was out there in the dating pool, so things like Tinder and stuff I don't really have experience with, so I'm gonna try my best, but you know your girl was on Okcupid. So I think jumping into it, you know, a question that I often ask myself is, do my tattoos make me feel sexy? And if they do, are other people allowed to think that too? You know, are other people allowed to see me enjoying my tattoos and my feeling of self, and are they allowed to be attracted to that as well? And I think, you know, it's easy for us to say, like, yes, my tattoos make me feel sexy, but no, other people are not allowed to enjoy them or sexualize them in that way. I think, you know, a lot of us, we all get tattooed for different reasons, but a big perk and a big benefit and a big part of getting tattooed is feeling comfortable in your own skin and feeling like you belong in your own skin. Definitely for me, you know, there's always the little peak after just getting a tattoo where you're looking at it, you love it. You know, I just got a tattoo on my upper thigh and it made me love my legs. And you know, middle school, high school, I don't think I'd ever feel comfortable saying like, I love my legs, they look great, let me take a photo of them on purpose. So it's really awesome to me to be able to have that tattoo, but it's kind of difficult because, I mean, this is something I find, if you're going to photograph your tattoos, they're all over your body, and your body is that entire working canvas. So if I'm going to take a picture of my upper thigh tattoos or my sternum tattoos, stuff like that, obviously the body part is always going to be connected to, I mean, you know, directly related to the photograph. So it's funny, you know, I got tattooed by Mike Ski last year, and 2 years ago, and I got a tattoo on the back of my thigh. And we tried to take photos of it, and there would be photos where I was like holding my hand to my back of my thigh and kind of pulling my skirt down and different angles, and it just got to a point where he was like, hey, like, love the tattoo, but there's no appropriate way for me to post this without it receiving some sort of feedback. And I went home and I took a picture of the tattoo myself, and it was easier for me to angle my body and still get a good picture of the tattoo, but there was no way that it wouldn't be at least perceived in some sort of sexual way because of the location, the upper thigh. There's no way that you can photograph it without the bottom of my butt being shown. So I think we deal with that, and it's challenging because you could see a picture, like personally me as a tattoo collector, I can see a photo of like a woman and she is showing off a new tattoo that she got, and I can be like, yeah girl, get that tattoo. And then you can read the comments and they're like sexy AF, and you're like, oh, is this a sexy photo, or is this just somebody trying to share a new tattoo that they got? And I think that those questions are blurred and they become one thing. And you can hear people say like, oh, like that's a thirst trap picture, like that's a picture where someone's trying to show off. And I can come in and be like, no, it looks like she just got a tattoo. Or like, how else is she, or they, you know, how else is anyone supposed to show their tattoo if it's not on their fucking hand without taking a photo? And why can't you put like an artistic spin on it? I mean, all of us are out here trying to create great content. And I'm somebody who, if I'm going to take a picture of my back tattoo, I probably have to have my shirt off, or else the tattoo picture is interrupted by straps or shirt or needing to move something. Obviously, depending on what I'm going for in the photo, I can leave a shirt on, you know, pull a sleeve down, whatever, but it's just going to get to the point where if I'm going to show my keystone tattoo, I have to hold my breast out of the way. And then it's like, well, that's a picture of someone holding their breast. And it's like, no, that's not what I was going for. I'm really just taking a picture of my tattoo. I think with that, a lot of that becomes, does confidence really attract people? If you seem like you're someone who's comfortable in their skin, they're comfortable taking photos of their tattoos, revealing parts of themselves, you know, does that represent confidence? And does confidence attract people to you? If a picture like that would draw attention to you and people are saying like, she's sexy, you know, I'm saying she because I'm talking about my experience, but like, she's sexy, she's comfortable in her skin, she's willing to show it, and I'm looking right at it. But what came first? You know, for me personally, I was not confident in my skin until I started making my body my own and putting my own interpretation on how I want it to look onto my body. So without the tattoos, would I take the revealing photos? No, I wouldn't. You know, I'm not that interested in my upper thigh, and I'm not that interested in my ribs and my back, but I am interested in the tattoos. And shit, you know, half of the time, I take these pictures so I can see my back tattoo. I think I made a caption that was like, finally got around to taking some pictures of my tattoo I can enjoy. And it means I can enjoy them. If confidence attracts people, I think, you know, you kind of catch yourself, because if you're confident about your body because of the tattoos, now it's suddenly like, it seems like people are coming to you because they are attracted to the tattoos as well. And I think they are. And my next point is like, why do tattooed people, tattooed women, you know, why do our tattoos come with labels? Like, why am I suddenly sexy because I have tattoos? Or why am I tough? Or, you know, why am I like a troublemaker, a bad girl because I'm tattooed? I mean, these are all kind of stereotypes that I never signed up for. I never agreed to being, you know. If you asked me 10 years ago, like, do you feel like being sexy? I'd be like, no. Like, I'm not like a sexual person. So it's challenging for me in the summer, you know, when I'm just trying to look cute, just trying to be me. You know, I'm happy to see my own tattoos as well. But it's like, when we hit that spring and summer and we're shedding our long sleeves and our pants and our jackets and we're showing our summer skin, now it's like the spotlight is on us. And I'm someone who experiences catcalling. You know, if you've ever experienced it, it's something that you don't ask for and you can't avoid. And it's something that kind of like haunts me a little bit. There's definitely times, and not to stereotype, but there's definitely times where like I'm nervous to walk past like a construction area in shorts because I'm like, fuck, here we go, someone's gonna say something. Or, you know, taking public transportation. These are all like really challenging things. Even when I worked at the coffee shop, you know, there were times where I felt nervous about showing exposed skin because I was vulnerable to a conversation that I wasn't, you know, trying to have, or it wasn't mutual. And these are all like, some of it is genuine curiosity, but I feel like a lot of times people will be like, oh man, what's that tattoo that hurt? Like, are you into that? You got a boyfriend? And I'm like, fuck. You know, you want to be nice, and you don't want to be like, oh, that tattooed asshole like gave me attitude when I just tried to ask her a question. Like, you don't want to be that way. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but like you still asked me out. Based on what? Based on me being tattooed and that's it? What if I'm a serial killer? What if I can't wait to kill you, but I got this tattoo and like drew you in with my siren song? Like, oh, you have tattoos everywhere? Yeah, come see so I can fucking kill you. Why is it that these qualities that are attached to us being tattooed, like, why do these qualities attract a certain type of person? I remember, you know, I did a lot of my dating, like no lie, through Tumblr. That's how I met like a lot of the people I dated. But I also did a little bit of Okcupid. And while I was on Okcupid, I would get messages like all across the board. And, you know, you think you're going to attract the people you're attracted to. And I don't know why we think this, but we are inclined to think like, oh, I hope a nice emo boy will see my profile and he'll be interested in me. But it's strange the amount of people who are attracted to me. And it's no doubt that people come onto your page and look at your photo. Your physical presence is 90% of your online dating. It just is. It's 100% of your dating outside, you know? If someone's trying to pick me up on the train, they have no idea that I'm vegan. And number one turnoff, probably. So, your physical self on your online presence speaks for you. And people who would message me, you know, it wasn't my emo dream. I had a message once from a doctor who was like, I've never dated anybody with tattoos before. We should get something to eat. And I was like, why? And I would get messages like that from like students from the university and things like that who were interested in like having a little taste of like a novelty they've never had before. And I remember thinking like, this is really foreign to me. This is really strange. Because the people I pursue, the people I'm attracted to, you know, I would never consider like this group of men. And it was always like non-tattooed men, a little older than me, and I guess, you know, like thrilled to experience something out of the norm. And it's like, why do we attract, I'm speaking about myself, but these men who are interested in experiencing this? Like, I don't know. I understand what like the stereotype of like the tattooed lifestyle is, and I personally don't think that I fit into it at all. So what if I took the doctor out and he was like, what do you like to do? You like to ride your moped and you like to go to the dive bar and all this other stuff? And I would be like, I like a quiet night in. Sometimes my roommate will make me dinner from scratch and I'll eat it and complain about it, and then we take the compost out together. When our internet goes out, I draw. He'll be like, oh, okay, Grandma. Well, I have to go because I'm trying new things and you're not one of them. So it's kind of strange because I feel like I don't fit that stereotype. So you're curious to why you attract these people who want a little taste of that, who think that you're living your life to the fullest, or that you've experienced something that they haven't, that you've lived a little. You know, I think getting a tattoo, like the act of getting a tattoo, is attached to like people who are thrill seeking, or like skydiving, the live a little, like I want to get a little tattoo before I die kind of thing, or like I just want to be spontaneous. And I'm someone who doesn't want to help attribute to anybody's like spontaneity like that I just met. And at the same time, like, I don't want to find out that someone is falsely just trying to get to know me because they want to see me naked. Like, I don't want to be any part of that. So you ask yourself, why? Why do I attract these people? I think a lot of people, you know, a lot of women and people I've spoken to, sometimes they say or they blame it on suicide girls. And they blame it on the act of, like, these alternative models. And there's been a time in my life where I put a lot of blame on that too. But at the same time, if I was checking a dude out and he followed the suicide girls, I was like, oh, that's my in. But if you're not familiar with suicide girls, they are an alternative press, maybe online only at this point, it's been a while. It would show models like nude modeling, like artistic nude modeling, and they would have tattoos and they would have body modifications, or they would be a little out of the normal. And at first, when I was younger, you know, Suicide Girls came out when I was still in high school. This was something I was really excited about, but I used to read their blogs and try to relate to them as people, and then to me it just seemed like they were expressing something and showing the world something that the world may have not seen, and that is beauty or sexualization in an alternative format. And in the beginning, I loved it. You know, any confidence I may have developed in high school, I can directly relate to them being confident, loving each other. You know, it was a supportive community when I was reading along, and something I was really into. You know, if I would have been 18, I would have paid for a membership, no doubt, because I read all their blogs and felt like I followed them on tour, and it was something really awesome. But at the same time, while I was reading it as, you know, curious 16, 17-year-old woman relating to the women, there's no saying that that emo boy I dreamed of earlier wasn't reading along too and going, these are the women I'm attracted to. I'm attracted to them sexually, and this is what they look like. And if I'm going to be attracted to them, this is how they have to appeal to me. And, you know, that might seem dangerous, but at the same time, we're also allowed to develop our sexuality and allowed to develop our interests. And it's just a little confusing that you see that, you're attracted to it, you're into it, and now you want to capture that and find women in real life who represent the same thing. But all of us don't. You know, I don't have a single issue with Suicide Girls, and I think that it does help to have that presence out there, because I think as an alternative woman or a tattooed woman, I definitely have that right to express myself and show the photos. And like I said in the beginning, our confidence, does it come naturally? Does it come from being tattooed? Are you suddenly full body tattooed, you met your tattoo goals, and you're like, I'm ready to show them off, I fucking love myself. So I don't have any ill will towards Suicide Girls, and I don't think that they have been harmful to my plight. If anything, I related to them when I needed the most help, and although I don't think their website's structured the way it used to be when I enjoyed it, I think that it gives a lot of people a chance, and that's awesome to me. Is there some trickle down? You know, do people see a tattooed girl and ask? You know, I've been asked at the coffee shop if I was a suicide girl more than once, and it's always embarrassing to my coworkers who hear, and it's embarrassing to me too, because I'm like, no, do you ask everyone with tattoos that? Because you should probably chill out. Who knows? I'm not offended that they would ask me that, but it's a bit strange to ask someone you've met for 3 seconds, do you pose nude? So I think, you know, being able to flex my tattoos, you know, can be a part of my sexuality, because I think, you know, my naked body is a tattooed body. So if you're attracted to me, you know, if you're someone who says, like, tattoos are disgusting, tattoos mar your body, tattoos are daddy issues, you're not going to be someone who's attracted to me. And maybe I'm a little fucked up and attracted to you in that aspect, but it's not gonna mesh and it's not the same. So I think my sexuality, however loosely defined, you know, as a tattooed person, my sexuality is unique to me and my body is tattooed. So I do want to end this with, do I think tattoos are sexy? And do you think tattoos are sexy? And do I look for a tattooed person when I'm in the dating pool, when I was on Okcupid, when I was on Tumblr? And I think, you know, out of everything, when I'm looking for a partner, when I'm attracted to somebody, I just want to be with somebody who understands me. I just want to be understood. And, you know, I'm not trying to say fucking that I'm so misunderstood and all of that stuff, but it's easy to say and it's easy to recognize that someone who is a tattooed person is going to relate to me a lot more. They're going to have similar experiences to me. They might know similar people. They might just already be attractive to me if they like the same music, like the same stuff, have seen the same things as me. So when I was looking for people like to date on Tumblr or Okcupid, I would gravitate towards people who look like me because it was just a little more blatantly obvious that we might have shared experiences. And you know, I've been on terrible dates with tattooed dudes, and I've had awful experiences dating tattoo artists, and I've regretfully met people who I was like, damn, that's a fucking good tattoo. You're the worst. So it's hard. I think it's obvious that a tattooed person would have a lot more in common with me, but it doesn't mean that we might meet and get along. You meet tattooed people who are insensitive and who don't share the same ethics as you and fucking hate you for being vegan, and it's fine because it's just as likely that I would meet someone without tattoos who feels the same way. Currently, I'm in a relationship with a partner who has no tattoos, but we relate on levels that I need to be accommodated in and he needs to be accommodated in, and tattoos in that aspect, like, it's surface level. I think, you know, he thought that I was sexy and had tattoos and stuff, but like I said, it was kind of a sure bet for him because he knew I was alternative and he knew that I lived an alternative lifestyle, and you can kind of just tell that someone who is tattooed may live off the cusp and be in a social circle that you're into. So with that, it's really hard, you know. You roll the dice, and if you find that someone is attracted to you because of your tattoos, it may also be because, you know, they saw that you had a Liberate tattoo and they were like, oh yeah, cool, into it. I'll give her a shot. But then you might also have like a little sternum tattoo, and you might find someone who's like, show me the rest of that tattoo sometime. And you're like, ugh. So I think dating as a tattooed person, or just existing existing in general, is going to be difficult for women and other people, you know, dipping into the dating pool. So I'd love to hear your experience. You know, all the hashtag Quicken boys out there, let me know. And if you're down in the comments, if this was a question that you asked me, I tried to cover a ton of questions in this, let me know how you feel. So definitely let me know your experience as dating as a tattooed person. Or maybe you're not tattooed at all, you just love this stuff. Maybe you want to date a tattooed person. Let me know your experience down below. I love reading your comments. I love that this is a little community. And I'm sorry that this was a little talk heavy. You know, this is a series that I like to be like multifaceted, and I think it's great that we have the sit down chats, and we have the go out in the world and get the experience, and we have the educational. I just think that this is a culture, you know, that is mysterious to some and does have so much experience behind it that is so individualized that I would just love to hear your thoughts. So let me know. Thank you everybody who has asked questions, and I love you guys. Make sure you subscribe if it's your first time here. Give this video a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to check out Tattoo Talk Wednesday from last week. I think it really all came together super well. I love you guys. Until next time, bye.